G'day everybody, it's Josh here from the Elvis Legacy is Perfect channel. I say he doesn't need defending. His legacy stands on its own, and anything that's been said about him is water off a duck's back. That his legacy is something that is impenetrable, is my view, and his reputation stands as strong as anybody else's. I wanted to do a video today. Haven't done one for about 4 or 5 days. This video is going to be um, what it's going to be mainly about is the silence from the other channel, the absolute silence and the lack of acknowledgement. For the best part of probably 2 or 3 weeks, Corporal Macrides read comment after comment after comment that you guys put onto my channel, onto my videos, and made a big deal of they're vile and they're horrible and they're this and they're that, and calling people, putting those comments on his channel, making up awards for people for making their comments. And then what's now happened is, and that was never a Team Elvis thing. It was never a group thing to do the comments. It was his decision to continually read all the comments. And I thought it was crazy, because why would you do that? Especially when you know that a lot of it is negative about you. This channel has a lot of subscribers that are blocked on his channel. And that's because a lot of you have expressed your alternate opinions to his own. And we all know he's got might even have up to about 20 people on his channel who are very active in his live chat and like to talk about, really, they like to watch him. That's essentially what they do. They watch him. He's got a guy there that makes some songs. He's got a weirdo researcher who really doesn't look into much. But what they have got is an absolute fascination with Corporal Macrides and a fascination with Donna. The Donna fascination, I suspect, comes from Corporal Macrides, but they all seem to be pretty wed to her. And why I say that is because in the last couple of videos I've done, I have shown, at Corporal Macrides' request, he told us in earlier videos to go and find anything, find it. It's not there. It doesn't exist. So we went and did that. I went and did that. And I went and looked, and I did some digging, and I did find things. Very interesting things. As you all know, and a lot of you have been commenting on it, some of you have even got intimate knowledge about some of these things that I didn't know about. So, but I find it very coincidental that all of a sudden, when all this information gets released, the other channel, Corporal Macrides, says, "Oh, that's it. The line's in the sand now. There's a picture that's been put on Facebook of my wife." Even though he's been making shorts and he's had his wife in videos, he's had his kids in videos. Nope, it's on Facebook. It's getting too personal. I know it's crossed the line. So that's it. No longer going to read those comments. No longer going to mention the other channels. We're no longer going to do anything. We're going to totally change. It's going to be a new beginning. Can you believe that? So we take him up on his challenge, show him that Donna Pritchett is not who she says she is, and that there is a bunch of information out there that he just simply doesn't either know about, didn't know about, or just chooses to stick his head in the sand. Now, I think we've got it confirmed. He chooses to stick his head in the sand. So for 2 years nearly, he's attacking the Smiths for the writing of the book, because it's all about truth. I'm going to get to the truth. They're trashers. They've done this, they've done that. Donna Pritchett is the one that if we were to have a set of scales with Smiths and Donna Pritchett, she would be the one up high and they would be the ones down low for nearly 2 years. And now, when all of it is shown to him, all the information from the old ElvisPresleyNews.com website, we've shown that that article was legitimate, it was written, we showed the person who wrote it. We showed, well, numerous things, allegations of fake TCB necklaces, and let's just go through them all. So there's a tick, we know that happened. In fact, there's a person on our channel, isn't there, who's actually made reference to it, who's actually said, Donna's love and greed for jewelry prompted her to manufacture fake TCB necklaces to try and pass them off. How do I know this for sure? Because I was one of the people that tried to scam and sell one of them too. Asking price approximately $5,000. So that's just someone on our channel, but we already know there's also an instance here where this couple, by name, there's their name for the first time, they wrote into this website and said, this is what happened. This one was $5,500. The price started at $10,000 and it went to $5,500 for the necklace. So I think we can give that a tick. That happened. Taking $8,000 off an Elvis fan to purchase memorabilia. Well, we know that happened. We know it from another article, and it's also on this website by the person's name. So that gets a tick. Presley Promotions, I've since learned, was something owned by Donna and Buddy, and they brought in investors to Presley Promotions. They were meant to return money to those investors and didn't. And that's touched on in an article that is on the website of ElvisPresleyNews.com. I went through it last time. You can go back and check it. And we know this because Donna and Buddy asked for information to be taken off the website, and they would provide restitution for the money they owed to the investors of Presley Promotions, because at the time they were negotiating a deal to come in on a development plan for the Circle G. So we know that happened. The refusal to pay Edie Hand money. We've seen that referred to in about 3 sources. One, the article online on a forum. 2, it shows up on the bottom as a comment in an article. And we've seen it referred to in a Facebook page. Same thing, someone that spoke to Edie Hand. Then we know about Michael Stevens. He funded the 1,700 copies that the publisher, when they wanted it printed, and he was supposed to get a return on his investment. We know that they were selling these copies, Donna and Buddy, at Elvis events. And then we know that when the Rivermark, when the process servers went in there to go and recover everything with the writ of replevin, they recovered 1,000 copies still left of those books. And we know this is the man, Michael Stevens, who was initiating the action against them, court action. We know that there's numerous pictures going back in the day of Donna showing her wealth. Standing there with a Cadillac on Dolan Street with a luxury number plate, Presley on it. Driving around with Donna Presley Early, Elvis's first cousin, emblazoned on the side of some sort of sports car. This is Dolan Street, I believe. Here they are at another pretty luxurious house. And we do know of a report of a house that they also went into, that they were to buy but fell through on it. So we've seen the flashiness. And then we also know in 2001, there was a bankruptcy to the tune of US dollars $400,000 in 2001, equivalent of about 1.2 million today. So we know Donna likes the flashiness. This is at Dolan, around 2001-ish, maybe slightly earlier. Long stretched limousine with Donna Presley Early emblazoned on the side. So we know that she told ElvisPresleyNews.com in an article that she'd acquired Dolan Street. She actually implied that she'd either bought it or was renting it. Now, I believe both are not true. And in fact, she owed money to the people of who had Dolan Street, who did own Dolan Street. It was a very short-lived occupation, very short-lived. But it was open to the fans. The fans did go there. And I have heard of a report of someone that was there. But they say Dolan Street, it was in a pretty bad way. And now, after all of this, and this is really just touching it, there's a lot more, now making unsubstantiated claim after claim about Buddy being a drug addict, an alcoholic, abusive, wanting to commit violence. That's when we've seen these pictures here. They'd been married about 20-something years here when they were having this photo shoot. And then about what her mother did or didn't say, about using the Presley name. Nothing corroborated, nothing proven, all just words. And we should believe it all. We should believe it all. But my biggest thing is that with all this information and the website that contains a lot of information through the years of this going on, you can see what's gone on. We go from 2001, some good articles. Donna's obviously welcome to the site. They allow her to have a bit of a voice on the site, to suddenly we're hitting a bankruptcy period. Then we hit this auction of all of their stuff from the Rivermark, a long list of stuff, including a pretty extensive and expensive list of jewelry. And we then go into a period where over time, little articles come out, articles like this one. And then we move to a time where Donna's completely wiped from the site. And that happens because on the site, as the templates change on the site, I actually viewed, because they put the family names at the top. Donna is actually, at one point, they even remove her as family as a link on the top. Now, I don't know why. I've not been able to get hold of the lady who ran this site, but I'm hoping to. So we also know that this didn't just go to 2001, 2003. We know that a bankruptcy goes for 7 years, so that would have lasted 2001 to 2008. I don't know when he was a police officer and a private investigator, but as in Buddy. But what we are getting a picture of is that the fraudulent behaviour kept happening. And we've got all these checks here to Donna. There's, 7 of them here. And Donna had to she wrote to the court and basically said, I didn't receive any of these. They're not mine. I know nothing about it. So I don't know if they were cashed. We don't know a lot of the detail to this because the case was withdrawn. The case was dropped. But we know that Donna filed on August 30, through her lawyer, and denied it all. Said, no, nothing to see. So the case was dropped because it was all largely built upon Buddy. But the biggest thing that we want to take from this is the hypocrisy of the Defending Elvis channel. I just find it absolutely bizarre. Now, I'm not doing this video to reignite Corporal Macrides. In fact, I even wrote to him the other day and told him that if he continues the way he's going, where he's not calling out, he's not abusing people, I will delete a video of his choosing. Maybe the narcissism video. He can choose which one I delete. And if he continues to do well in not abusing Elvis's family and friends, then I'm happy to. Maybe I'll be happy in a little while to delete more. That's up to him. But what I am calling out is the fact that, because one thing I will say on top of that is, now when having a look at some of the key operatives that are supporting Corporal Macrides, and they're the propagandists that support Donna. I came across, there's a couple of videos, there's several shorts that our hillbilly widow is now doing. And in those shorts, he's spruiking Donna. Donna said this. When Elvis was doing this, Donna said this. And then I was looking at some of the comments, and it's interesting because there's obviously some of you that are reading some of our comments. And one of you has put, I don't know how anyone can believe a word Donna says after a couple of videos I've seen. Someone else says, defending the indefensible, crazy with the information that's now out there. And our hillbilly researcher says, believing the unbelievable, crazy with the information that's now out there. Believing the unbelievable. Then you've got someone else who says, who is defending the indefensible? Are you referring to the fans of Priscilla? So then we've got this, someone that's he's put here, mostly they believe because Donna speaks the truth. So then this person puts, I don't think selling fake TCB necklaces to Elvis fans is a nice thing to do by a cousin of Elvis. Surely you don't agree with that. The evidence is pretty compelling. And then he writes, did she sell the TCBs with some of Elvis's hair? Now that's a bit of a dig at a previous video I did where I said that that Donna included these little clips of hair, which was a strand of Elvis's hair, with some of the books she was selling. Now some of this happened in 2000 and, well, I think it said 2002 or 2000. Yeah, I think it was. Now the reference that our hillbilly friend made was that at the time was that, hang on a minute, that book came out in 97. Are you saying she still had the book in 2002? How ridiculous. Well, we know the bank took 1,000 copies of the book in 2001 out of the Rivermark. Well, we know that now because we've got an inventory. So that's what hillbilly says. So he says unverified. What evidence? Unverified wacko fan statements from 23 years ago. So he's referring to this, where these fans have written in to ElvisPresleyNews.com and relayed their story, and the fact that the earlies got them to write a reference for their website. And there's another story underneath this. This is just a screenshot. There's also a person on my channel who you would have seen who's relayed his story about the fake TCB necklaces. So there's more than one. This person's got several stories to tell. In fact, he actually met them both. He knew them. Knew Buddy and Donna. So that's what he's got. Yes, it is verified. The comments were made. So he wants to see a legal thing, I think, or he wants to see a photo of Donna actually holding the fake TCB to give to somebody. I think that's what he wants. No, not a single real person has ever shown up with these statements in any real publication or even in a video on the internet. Do you honestly believe that if Donna had done all these things, not a single person would have made a video telling their experience with Donna in the entire history of YouTube, especially now? All right, so let's cut to this. Donna and Buddy were meeting lots of Elvis fans. They were traveling around. They were going to the UK opening bookstores. They were doing all sorts of travel. They met Elvis fans in all sorts of locations. We are now talking 2001. I'd have to go and check when YouTube came out, but I could tell you that it is, for the cost of it, $10,000, $5,500 for those that bought these fake necklaces. It wouldn't be worth chasing in court. Now, the reason being is because you'd spend all this money, you'd have to prove that the onus of proof would be on you to prove it. By the time you took her to court, first you'd have to serve her. They're already, we've worked out, they're quite good at hiding. They hid at the Rivermark for quite a long period of time before someone gave them up. And we know that someone, and we think it was possibly her son who was a police officer, who said, give yourself up, just hand yourselves in. And we know that by that article, that when the police and the process servers went there, Buddy tried to deny. He called him. They said their names were, what was it? Something, James and Susie Dean. They tried to deny who they were. So anyway, what else does he say here? Especially now when such a story would obviously pull in views or receive amplification of the two linked cousin channels. Did Donna attend conventions? Yes. Do people who attend conventions sell stuff? Yes. Does Lau Hayes sell replica TCBs? Yes. Do other people? Yes. Well, the difference here, Hillbilly, is that they say they're replicas. They don't say, Elvis gave this to my father, Earl, and if you want to buy it, he'd much prefer that it went to an Elvis fan rather than a collector, a collector with a lot of money who's going to put it away somewhere privately. So I know that he would like you to buy it, so I'll facilitate the sale. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty much what we're saying here. So Lau Hayes and others who sell replica TCBs, they say these are replicas, not originals. And if we're to read this article, which is an article someone wrote in when all this happened, so whether it's not an official statement, it's basically an allegation, it's someone's account of what happened, they'd have to be held to it in a court and write an affidavit that could be presented, potentially give evidence in front of a judge. However, we don't have any of that. We have their account. And in their account, they even go into the fact that for them to buy it, which they end up buying it, Donna promised to send them a photo of Elvis wearing it, which never eventuated. And then it goes into a whole other story about someone in the UK seeing a photo or seeing the necklace, hearing the story and realizing that it was the same necklace that she'd been promised. So anyway, we could go on and on. But the whole premise of my video here today is that when all this information's out there, we are told all this time that Donna is the person we should be listening to. Donna is the one that has never done wrong by Elvis. Donna is the one who always defends Elvis and is the one that we should be looking at in a positive light, as opposed to a cousin who contributed to a book over his life and told stories about Elvis, real stories, truth stories about his time with Elvis. Work that out. So I go back to how I started this channel. The Defending Elvis channel stands for nothing, has no credibility, it has no standards. What it is just something that suits Corporal Macrides at the time. And at the moment, he is so wed to Donna Pritchett that he can't see the forest for the trees. And he does not have it in him to say, hey, okay, all right, there is a lot more out there than what I thought there was. Maybe I've made a mistake, but maybe I haven't, because these are all allegations. They weren't presented in a court, other than this Wampler case that ended up getting a conviction, or nearly got a conviction to Buddy, until an untimely end. But at the end of the day, there's a roaring, raging fire here, and a whole lot of smoke, and a Defending Elvis channel that's playing the Three Monkeys. I see nothing, I hear nothing, I say nothing. Good night, everybody.